Hello everyone and welcome to Shadowkeeper Savage. This guy is a motherfucker. First of all, you want to make 2 teams of 3. This will be for Umbral Orbs later. Your tanks will also need to know where to go, but that's pretty simple knowledge. First thing it's going to do is something called Dread Shadow Nova. Is it Deep Shadow Nova, sorry. It's just an AoE, it's not that hard to deal with. Does moderate damage, but that's all really. Followed by that is going to do Implosion. Now remember, he shoots from the shadow, not him, and if his head is at back he will shoot from that direction, meaning in front of him. If his tail's up it will be behind. He'll grab his sword. This just means get out, get back in. Giga Slash, this is what I mentioned before, he will shoot from his shadow, so look where the sword is and go opposite of the shadow, not the boss. You've done it in normal. Figuring that out later will be something that is important. Umbra Smash, this is just a tank buster, he will hit 4 times. You just invuln it, and on the 4th attack you have a tank swap. So here we go, he taunted, I will now shoot, I'll get to the side. He will do two things here, Shadow's Edge, which is a cleave. I can't remember the name of the spell for the other one, but if it's the other one you will just go behind him and stack. Shadow Cleave, he drops clones behind you. Remember, the clones always spawn behind you, so I stay here, I go to the other side. I go to the other side to avoid getting cleaved, because if you are in front of them they will cleave you. Here you will have to go 1 out first with 2 and 3 in, then it's 2 out with 1 and 3 in, and then it's 3 out with 1 and 2 in. You can tell which number you are by looking at your shadow, and above your shadow there will be a number. If there isn't a number, you take all of the marks. We then stack behind him, we go in front of him, and it'll be an Umbra Cleave. So Umbra Smash, sorry. But I do know that it's going to be Shadow Cleave afterwards. So I just taunt on the 4th, and now he'll then shirk me. I will get Shadow's Edge, this is the cleave remember, so I just take it with a Vengeance or Rampart or whatever. I go a little bit overboard with Full of Battle, you've got it, why not use it. Same with Nascent Flash, I always use Nascent Flash nowadays. Shadow Servant, so 4 players will get marked, in this case it is DPS. You have to look where the where the boss's sword is, and make sure that the shadow is hitting outside. Create a square, you'll see what I mean. And then the tanks and healers get it. So this case I look where the shadow sword is, it's going to be its right. That means it's going to shoot from the shadow's right. You can tell this by the head of the shadow. So I was east, it's going to shoot shadows to the east and create a square. I'll get something in the description to maybe help you understand that a little bit better. See, he goes on all 4 nows and goes red. That means it's going to be a knockback. As you see, I already used my arm's length. After this there'll be Umbral Orbs, so tanks take purple and your 2 teams of 3 will take the oranges. So I am north, my other tank will be south. We have team 2 east and team 2 west, team 1 west, Jesus. And there we go, resolve that. I do kind of pop a cooldown, I think I pop Ramparts just because it can do heavy damage when it does its little charge back into the middle. See, on this is Shadow Warrior, he will tether to one of his clones. In this case it's south. If it's south or north, it's always going to be either east or west. If it's tethered to an east or west, it's always going to be north or south. In this case it was east. I line up with my purple orb, they line up with their oranges. You need to make sure you're lined up with them. Make sure not to be out of place or you will die. I think we might see that later on. Another Deep Shadow Nova, just AoE. What follows this? Let's see. Fade to Shadow. The squiggly lines on the floor. So you want to be on the squiggly lines, however it'll do Implosion during this. So in this case you want to be opposite of the shadow where it spawned. Get that, it'll do the AoE, then you want to go to the next number across. So we go to 4. That's more important later, followed by Deep Shadow Nova. These are just easily dealt with, really. You do kind of drop around 30%, something like that, but nothing else is coming, so this should be okay. Implosion, look, his tail is up, that means he's going to hit it to the shadow side, so it's going to be east, then north, then south, and then west. Once you figure out how the shadow works, this kind of becomes a pretty easy fight. Just another Deep Shadow Nova, simple AoE, you already know how to deal with it. What's next? Just trying to think what's next. It's not Pitbox, I'm pretty sure of that. It is the getaway. So you get away, charge back in. Is this an Umbra shot? This is an Umbra Smash. Already know how to deal with this. 4 attacks, 1, 2, 3, 4, swap. Believe it's a cleave again, yes it is. So he'll do a small stone, whatever, he keeps himself up. Void gates, okay, so clocks positions. You'll be in your clock position. I am on east, the other tank's north. You'll get shadow servants between this, but for this one, you resolve the shadow, so I need to go south. I wait until I see the purple orbs for the void gate, I then get in, and then stand there, wait until the square has been created, and then back to the middle. Then I move to my left. I stand just in front of the tower, not to get the bleed. I wait until late to go in. The DPS will now have to do the tower first, then the shades, then we all get into the middle. We generally have someone calling out which side the sword's coming from so people can make the square, and soon there'll be things called pitch bog. We have assigned placements, so melee and tanks have numbers and the ranged DPS and healers have the cardinals, the letters. I put mine on 2, well just past 2, everyone else puts theirs at the edge of the room, you don't really have to. Umbral orbs will appear, so look for your umbral orb. At the same time there will be knockback, so as you can see I went to northwest, but it was not northwest for me, it was for Elliot. I went to my 3, this resolves. Number 2 didn't get there in time, so their team got fucked. Implosion is tails up, so it's going to do it from north, so you want to be the opposite, and you want to be the opposite of east. It only does it twice this time, and then your pitch bogs will have gone. Make sure not to stand in them because they spawn clones. Deep Shadow Nova happens, this is just AoE again. And then I start moving to the northeast because this is where tanks and healers will be. All DPS will be on the opposite at 4. This is because we're going to get shackled apart, so we need to stay apart from the DPS. We also, during this point, need to make sure we are on the squiggles, and we need to look for our umbral. So we have to rotate left to number 3, our umbral orbs will appear. There's a purple at D and there's a purple at C for us in this case, I just remember that. Elliot takes the D, I take the south, the C. Wait till this goes and boom, you go straight away, no hesitation. Then, this is where pitch bog comes in for everybody, and this is important. After the Nova obviously. So we do LB3 here because we have time. I will start moving to number 2, the other tank will start moving to 1, melee 3, melee 4. And the melee will be with their tanks. So after this knockback, after this getaway, then it's pitch bog. So you'll see what I was talking about. I will go to number 2, drop my AoE. First, you don't want to break them, you want to look for the Giga Slashes, so he's shooting to his left, so you want to be the right of the shadow. So south, then east, and then it would have been southwest for me, no southeast for me, but I went the wrong spot. Then it's northeast. Then you break your, well, you pop the shadow, sorry. I go to the east, my other person goes to the east. Remember, clones when they teleport go behind you and they are counted as a player, so they will go into the tower. We'll go to the next tower rotating left. Then when the purples come, we go in there. We stay here while the ranged and the healers go to their cardinal letters. Drop the AoE to make sure that it doesn't hit the clones, because if they do hit the clones, it kills them. Then one healer, well, sorry, 2 healers, 2 tanks will be in towers. And then you'll get a green tether, and you just go to your partner basically. Another Umbra Smash, 1, 2, 3, 4. Taunt. There we go. This one again is cleave. Unfortunately we didn't get the stack one, just so I could show you, but you just go either north or south. Umbral Orbs, this is also with knockbacks, so look for your Umbral Orb, do your arm's length. Mine is at 1, the other tanks is at 4, so at least 1 and 2 to go to their spots. We do this, we resolve it, and following this, I believe it is just 3 more Deep Shadow Novas, followed by Doomark. Doomark is its ultimate, it will kill you, it will one-shot you, it will be the end of the raid, and that's that. Didn't really do very well with explaining, I'm just play by playing. If you want better explanations, I recommend Rainy Sama, MTQ, Mr. Happy, Xeno, all of those guys, and gals or whatever. Hope you have a nice time, and I'm out. Peace.